everyone, this is Angelica. I'm going to share with you my personal story of how Ayurveda has helped heal me, because it's so important while you're on this journey of healing yourself that you have people to inspire you and to show you what is possible. So I started this journey with a lot of physical symptoms showing up in my body. I had irritable bowel syndrome, which is also a loose leaf term for digestive issues, gas and bloating, irregular bowel movements, alternating between constipation and diarrhea, and it really took a toll on my energy, and it consumed a lot of my time of thinking what meals I could eat all the time and what was going to cause certain issues in my body. I just felt like so disconnected from what my body really needed. Around this time, I also was suffering from amenorrhea, which is a lack of menses for at least 3 months, and I didn't have my period for 3 years. And I went to separate doctors for each of these things. I went to an internist where I got the diagnosis of IBS, and then I went to an OBGYN and got the diagnosis of amenorrhea. And so I noticed that already it felt like a disconnect in what Western medicine was giving me, that oh, I need to go to separate doctors for different things, but they're in the same part of my body. And isn't there a reason why these symptoms were sprouted in the first place? And the solutions that I was getting at the time from Western medicine were not in alignment with what I felt was right for my body. So when I got my IBS diagnosis, there basically was no cure. They said the only thing that they knew of that could possibly work was going on the Fodmap diet. So I had a crazy diet. If anyone's ever been familiar with it, it is just a huge list of a lot of different foods that are not okay to eat for your body. And I did this because I just wanted to feel better, and I did for a little bit, but it was not sustainable in the long run. And then I would feel guilty if I had certain foods because I knew how it would make me feel, but I felt so restricted, and it was just a vicious cycle. And then for amenorrhea, this was kind of a no-brainer for me, because the solution was to get on birth control again, which I had been for a majority of my life, and I did not want to be it anymore. My body was definitely telling me to not do that. So I was feeling a bit at a loss, feeling like my body was kind of giving up on me, and it was wearing on me so much. And I didn't understand. Like, I ate really healthy. I was really conscious. I was a full-time yoga instructor at the time, so I took care of my body, and it felt so disempowering to feel like my body was shutting down. And that is when the word Ayurveda kept popping up in my life. I did a cleanse that had Ayurvedic principles in it, and then one of my friends was talking to me about Ayurveda and gave me a book on what Ayurveda means. And when I read that book, it just made so much sense. Everything clicked. First, understanding that there's a root cause of your imbalance was music to my soul, because I knew that there was an initial reason for why both of these symptoms were popping up. They weren't two separate equations. They were part of the same whole. Also, treating the mind and the body and the soul as one. I knew that my anxiety and my depression that I was feeling was also linked to these digestive issues and the lack of menses. So as soon as I read Ayurveda, it was like an immediate remembrance, and I knew that this was a calling for me. So I actually signed up for the California College of Ayurveda, where I got my certification as an Ayurvedic health counselor, and I just was so passionate about it. I have a lot of that fire energy with me, and I just knew that this was the right thing for me. So I immersed myself in the education, and I learned so much, healed my digestive issues completely, healed my IBS symptoms, and I was blown away. And everything made so much sense when I was learning the science. It truly was a remembrance. I believe that I had many past lifetimes with Ayurveda, and it made so much sense the way we talk about the energetics and the elements in which we had in our previous videos that I talked about. It's so intuitive, right? It's stuff that you're already doing and you already know, but it helps to have framework and a whole science that can really go deep into it. And that's what fascinated me too. It goes so deep that you can learn on a specialist level, you can learn on a doctorate level. And I did get my specialist education in Ayurveda because I just wanted to learn more, and I wanted to heal on a deeper level. So around this time, I still hadn't received my menses, and I was wondering why I'm doing all the right things. I'm living Ayurvedically, I'm teaching yoga, I'm understanding the root cause of my imbalances, what's going on here? And around that time, I was called to get my Reiki certification. And I've gotten Reiki 1 before, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I feel connected to this, but I felt called to do Reiki 2. And during that Reiki 2 training, I just felt so alive. I really connected with the Reiki energy, and the day after I got my Reiki attunement, I received my period after not having it for 3 years. And that just completely blew my mind of how the Reiki energy, basically what it does is it restores the ki, Ki, that's in Reiki, which means restores your energy and removes the energetic blockages. So I could really feel in my sacral chakra, which is where I was holding a lot of the blockages for my amenorrhea, starting to dispel. I felt something kind of break apart in my body, and then to see it actually come into true manifestation the next day with receiving my menses was just huge. And that's when I really realized that healing is not just the physical body or even just the mental and the physical body. It's truly the mind, the body, and the soul as one. And how you connect with your soul level is going to be so different. Not everyone is going to connect with Reiki energy, but for me, that has been my calling. So throughout this time, I really felt called to start sharing this with more and more people. I did consultations. I was seeing dramatic changes and transformations in all of my clients, and I was just blown away that they were doing it themselves, truly, because that's what Ayurveda teaches you. It gives you all the tools. It keeps you on track, and if you have a really astute guide, they will nurture you in the right direction. But other than that, they're teaching you and giving you the resources so that you can do it on your own. And that was just so satisfying to have. And around this time, one of my first clients was actually Rachel, who is now my business partner, the co-founder of Soulful Veda. And she was one of my first clients that really restored or made me feel really empowered as a guide and as a healer, because she dramatically changed her whole life within a couple of months and completely healed her imbalances. So around this time as well, Rachel had this calling to lead a retreat. So she calls me up on the phone one day and she's like, I want to lead a day retreat in Chicago for everyone to feel amazing and to learn about Ayurveda, because it helped me so much when everyone to know about this science, because it's not very prevalent in our in Chicago at least. So we had this glorious day of the retreat. It was sold out. It was beautiful, and the most favorite part of the retreat was the Ayurveda workshop. And we were surprised because we thought the massages, we thought the Reiki healing and the yin yoga and the food, that those would be the favorite part, but it was for sure Ayurveda. And that again restored our faith. And wow, this beloved science that we are so passionate about, everyone else loves too. And that night we were talking and we just had sparks flying of all the ideas that we wanted to do to bring Ayurveda to the world so everyone can heal and feel amazing in their mind, body, and souls. So a few months later after that, we decided to become an LLC, and we created Soulful Veda with that pure intention to guide everyone to heal their mind, body, soul with the ancient wisdom of yoga and Ayurveda. I share this part of our story of how we built our business with my personal healing journey because it is one and the same. If I didn't have that catalyst of those physical symptoms in my body and wanting to find an answer that felt really true to my soul, then I would not have been able to step into my dharma, the light of my soul, which is creating my business Soulful Veda. And I just want to inspire those who are on their journey now, although it may not seem like your greatest opportunity of having this imbalance in your body, whatever chronic condition you may be facing, whatever female reproductive imbalance you may be having, and no matter how long you've had it, it is the opportunity for you to step into the seat of a healer. And that can look very different for a lot of people. That's what Rachel and I really empower all of our clients for when we guide them through our education programs, is that you can become your own unique healer. It may not look like doing consultations. You can be an influencer. You can be an educator. You could be wanting to lead your own retreats. It really is so authentic to you. But just know that if you're in some type of suffering in this moment, and whatever obstacle you're going over, it is there to teach you, to make you stronger, and to lead you into your biggest opportunity in your life. Rachel and I today have served over hundreds of clients, transforming not only just their mind and their body, but their soul. We see them release toxic relationships and find ones that are really fruitful and nourishing for them. We've seen them leave careers that were no longer in alignment with them, and then starting their own career and living a life of purpose. We've seen it change every single aspect of their life just by doing this healing work and healing their body and their mind. And it's so potent, and it's the most gratifying thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And I speak with that with just clear conviction, and that can be a possibility for you too if this is your calling and this is what your soul is guiding you towards. Now, I do want to go back and outline one important thing on a healing journey that can come up, and that is karma. So, as I mentioned early on in my healing journey, I healed my irritable bowel syndrome. I eased a lot of anxiety and depression. That was karma that I may have created in this lifetime. It is one that I was able to heal in a shorter amount of time. Now, my other imbalance of amenorrhea has been taking a longer time, and that's just because that is a deeper karma. That is something that is really etched into the memory of my soul, and there's a lot of lesson to be learned behind it. And so I say that to offer you a lot of love and compassion on this journey, that some symptoms will be able to disappear immediately. You're going to feel amazing with Ayurveda and yoga. And then other symptoms can just be deeper karmas, and they just need more attention and love and compassion on the journey. And that, don't worry, you are still always growing no matter what your outer world is looking like. Stay on the path, stay true to what you know to be the truth in your soul, and you have the power to heal. Now I want to hear from all of you. What is your healing story? How did you find Ayurveda? What has your transformations been like? Or are you in the beginning stages of just discovering Ayurveda? I want to hear it all. I love connecting with our community and hearing more about your story. So just put it in the comments, and we'll see you in the next episode.